Hello my beautiful watchers, I am Dominic Noble, and as you've probably surmised from what I've chosen to subject myself to, yes, I do in fact hate myself. Right, well, if we're going to do this, let's do it properly. Eric von Markovic is a Canadian... I very much do not want to give him the title of author, but he wrote the book I'm about to review. He started his career as a professional magician under the stage name Mystery, a pseudonym he would continue to use as he transitioned out of magic and into being a self-proclaimed master and teacher in the art of seduction. Mystery's fame received a huge spike in 2005 when he featured heavily in the bestseller The Game, penetrating the secret society of pickup artists. A supposedly true story by Neil Strauss, a journalist who, while investigating the pickup artist lifestyle, was taken under Mystery's wing and taught to become one himself. Riding the wave of this newfound attention, Mystery wrote his own book in 2007, The Mystery Method: How to Get Beautiful Women into Bed, a self-help book that claimed to be able to teach people how to... well, you heard the title. Around the same time, he also starred in 2 seasons of a TV show, The Pickup Artist, in which he gave hands-on advice to men with confidence issues on how to approach women in public. In a semi-surprising plot twist, in 2015, Strauss published another book, The Truth, an uncomfortable book about relationships, in which he explains that he eventually came to realize that Mystery and all the people like him were just angry, lonely men working through their emotional damage by spreading the misery around, and following their advice will eventually isolate you from anyone you could form a genuinely happy, healthy relationship with. Now, generally more talented and successful British YouTuber HBomberGuy has already gone into this in more detail and done a pretty spectacular breakdown of the pickup artist as a concept and lifestyle. His deep dive into more recent takes on pickup artistry brought to light that what little connection it ever had to teaching you how to talk to women has long since devolved into open pandering to the desperate needs of incels to blame women and feminism for their loneliness. He also pretty succinctly demonstrated, using the pickup artist's own words and advice, that all the expertise they claim to impart on the subject of seduction is utterly counterproductive and will fail 9 times out of 10, but because they tell you to attempt to use it on 10 to 20 women every day, you might sometimes find success simply by playing the numbers game. On top of this, he also presented a lot of compelling evidence that most practicing pickup artists don't really believe a word that they themselves say anymore and are just attempting to make money by selling books, DVDs, and seminars to lonely men. His results are partly why I chose Mystery's book for this review over the dozens of more recently written titles by impersonators. Mystery is, or at least was 14 years ago when he wrote this book, better at pretending that he's genuinely happy. He wrote it at the height of his popularity and success, so the self-pity is kept to a minimum and he actually talks about picking up women instead of coming up with reasons why he can blame them for rejecting him and men like him. This book is pickup artistry at its most emboldened and least resentful. FYI, what I just said is probably going to be the closest thing to a compliment that I'm going to give this disgusting piece of shit pretending to be a book. Before I go any further, I don't want to have to start every sentence with "according to Mystery," so can I trust you all to assume that me repeating this garbage is most certainly not an endorsement of it? Thank you so much. I would also like to include a light to medium trigger warning. If you are a woman who has experienced the unwanted attentions of a stranger with more confidence than room reading abilities, so from what I'm given to understand all of you, then you might find what I'm about to describe in this review a tad familiar and unsettling. I'm also very sorry to have to warn you that towards the end of this review, sexual assault is going to have to be discussed. Right, the basis of the Mystery Method is... well, that actually changes depending on which part of the book you're reading, but the most prevalent is the understanding that women are biological robots that you can hack into using a behavior-based algorithm that Mystery developed over the years through trial and error. By that, Mystery apparently means that all women are, without fail, slaves to a primordial programming interwoven into their brains that's left over from an era where personal survival was not guaranteed. This programming unknowingly drives them to constantly look for a mate who has the highest value and can therefore provide them with protection and strong children. He refers to it as a replication, women's replication instinct, their replication desires, the replication value they look for in men. I'm guessing that he either thinks referring to it this way makes him sound more scientific, or it's just one of the many ways he likes to dehumanize women in this book. This will apply regardless of if the woman actually intends to have children. The replication instinct dictates everything women look for in a sexual partner, no matter what they think they want in life. My LGBTQ beautiful watchers may already be spitting sparks at the blatant heteronormativity being displayed here, and I get it. I am furious too, but you are going to have to pace yourselves if you want to try and make it through this, because he actually manages to get more homophobic later. Also, get used to hearing about value, because Mystery fucking loves that word as a general term in his mystery method. Let me see if I can break it down for you. A lot of things contribute to your value. You might think that good caveman breeding stock would be the biggest and strongest, but even back then there was apparently more to it than that. For example, a woman might choose to marry the decrepit old tribe chief because his political power added more value to him than his age or physical strength. Yep, Mystery believes that gold digger was in fact the world's oldest profession. So yes, even though the instinct itself is as old as time, it has at least been updated in modern women's brains. New things that can contribute to your value these days are your looks, your charms, your sense of humor, your wealth, how you're dressed, your self-esteem, how people perceive or react to you, and how in demand you appear to be. The higher a woman subconsciously believes her value to be, the higher the value she will need to see in a man before she'll sleep with him. The practical application of this knowledge being that when you are speaking with a woman that you wish to seduce, everything you do or say should be in aid of increasing your own value or lowering your targets. Once her value is slipped sufficiently below yours, her replication programming will kick in and she will start to perceive you as a potential mate worthy of fucking or dating. And yes, women are referred to as targets in this book, almost exclusively in fact. Now obviously some things are out of your hands, like your income, your physical attractiveness, and the attractiveness of your target, but fear not, there are plenty of other ways to fuck with people's value. Dressing nice is one, either by peacocking or by genuinely dressing well, though Mystery does warn that if you intend to get really dolled up, you have to make sure you plan ahead with your friends and make sure you don't all do it, because, in his words, one guy dressed to the nines looks like the man, two guys decked out that way look gay. Peacocking you might have already heard of. It basically means wearing something outrageously eye-catching like brightly coloured clothing, or, in Mystery's case, a hat with goggles on it. This serves the dual purpose of providing a potential opener when women ask you why you have come to a bar or club dressed this way, and an opportunity to act so confident in this odd attire it increases your value in their eyes. Another way of increasing your value is making yourself appear to be in high demand by other women, both real and imaginary. The single most powerful thing that drives your target's sex drive is jealousy, because apparently women are terrible! Quick digression, Mystery claims that women should be rated on their looks on a scale of 6 to 10, 6 being an average looking woman and 10 being very attractive. He doesn't explain in this book why he uses such an odd scale. The only theories I can come up with are he either wishes to imply that no man would be cruel enough to rate a woman below a 6, or that women who would rate 5 or lower are not even worth talking about as they are subhuman. Anyway, Mystery suggests using lower scoring women as pawns. Yes, he literally refers to them as pawns to help you get with higher numbered girls. What you do is start by charming a 6 or a 7 until they develop an interest in you, then have them hold onto your arm while you approach and seduce a 10. The proven value you display by already having a girl with you will make you more appealing to your real target. Mystery claims that the less attractive woman can then return to her friends unharmed. He specifically uses the word unharmed, and I can only assume that he means physically, because fucking hellfire! There is no way that he can genuinely believe that a woman will be emotionally fine after being chatted up only to be used as a fucking prop and abandoned for a woman deemed better looking than her. What is your damage, Mystery? Beautiful watchers, would you excuse me for just a second? Thank you. I needed that. The before alluded to imaginary women are in reference to his advice to wear women's perfume and imply it's rubbed off from an earlier encounter in the night, or to put a lipstick kiss on your neck and pretend that you are not aware of it until your target mentions it. The sheer pathetic desperation of such acts isn't lost on me, but I have to confess the very first thought that immediately sprung to my mind was, who's giving you those fake lipstick kisses, Mystery? Mystery? Are you forcing your wingmen to put on lipstick and kiss your neck before hitting up the club? Is that what you're doing, Mr. Two well-dressed men look gay? Mystery warns that while boasting is an important part of picking up targets, talking yourself up too much can lead to appearing full of yourself and actually decrease your value. This is where wingmen come in. Bring a friend to sing of your achievements so you don't have to. They don't have to be real achievements, of course. There's nothing wrong with lying to women for sex, after all. Some of the example fictitious accomplishments he provides are kind of amazing because they are A, super obviously lies, and B, sometimes quite clearly serious serious crimes. Mystery mentions that a wing woman would be invaluable in seduction because they can help you inspire jealousy by faking interest in you as well as talking you up, but he seems to be at least a little bit aware that the chances of you finding a female friend willing to take part in the dehumanizing and manipulation of her gender for sex are pretty remote. If you find yourself having to extol your own virtues, say in the super unlikely case that you're a toxic douchebag with no friends due to your total lack of respect for women, then Mystery recommends framing it with a certain amount of faked vulnerability. Talk about how frightened you were when you were scaling that sheer cliff solo and your rope snapped, or how nervous you were when you were saving those kids from that mountain lion. He heavily endorses lying or avoiding answering questions relating to your job if it's not cool enough, though side-splittingly hilariously he claims that as a professional magician he actually had the opposite problem and has to be careful about how he presents his job so he doesn't impress women so much they feel intimidated and are worried that they are not in his league. Because, as everyone knows, bitches be mad about fucking stage magicians. Oh, this guy's such a fucking wanker. Like, you will not believe how often he brings up the fact that he's a magician in this book. It's like that rather mean joke people used to tell about vegans. How do you tell if someone's a magician? Don't worry, they'll tell you. I'm so sorry, I'm not trying to throw shade on magicians in general, I swear, he's just so smug and douchey about it. Right, I guess this brings us to the other value-related seduction method, decreasing your targets. The easiest ways to do this are by pretending that they are way less attractive than they are and by carefully chipping away at their self-esteem. Negging is another thing you might already have heard of, and it's one of the most disgusting things in this book. What negging amounts to is finding ways to give really backhanded compliments to your target or just be generally mean to them in lots of small ways that are enough to make them feel bad about themselves but not obvious enough, at least in Mystery's mind, for them to realize you're being a complete asshole. For example, so what do you do for a living? Well, I'm actually a model. What, like a hand model? Hello, I'm talking. Jeez, may I finish my sentence? Is she always like that? I don't think we should get to know each other. Why not? You're just too much of a nice girl for me. Wow, she poops words. Where's her off button? Which way to the bathroom? Oh, it's right over. I didn't ask you. I like that dress. I remember seeing you at a club before and you were wearing the same dress. It's nice though. Hey, check out this cute puppy I met the other day. Hey, excuse me. I'm showing her the pictures right now. Wait, your turn. Jeez. Wow, you really wrecked a moment. Your ex-boyfriends must have really hated that about you. Gum? No thanks, I'm drinking beer. I know. Take the gum. Do a lot of people ask you of your model? Yes, all the time. I think they were just being polite. You don't get out much, do you? Mystery recommends negging a target at least 2 or 3 times a minute. Negging can also involve showing how little you respect her by, say, loudly blowing your nose while she's trying to talk, or something to make her feel really self-conscious, like pretending she has a really bad eye bug on her face or drool on her chin. If all these fail, Mystery, without a shred of irony, suggests making her pull your finger and blowing raspberries. Multiple times. Each time promising her you won't make fart sounds again, then berating her for being stupid enough to keep falling for it when you do. Mystery insists that these insults do not do lasting psychological harm to your target. If done properly, they will be unaware they've even been insulted, but their self-esteem value will be adjusted down slightly, which will install in them a desire to impress you to raise it back up. Because apparently all women desperately need men's desire and interest to feel validated and happy, even if they don't know it yet. I am just going to need another second. I'm pretty fucking certain that no one in my audience would need to hear this, but just in case, please do not ever attempt to neg someone. Even if it worked, it doesn't. It does not, because women are not in fact biological robots under the control of an ancient programmed instinct to find a high-value mate, but even if it did, it's just not worth it. You don't want to be someone who would want to make someone feel bad about themselves to sleep with you. It's a horrible thing to do, and if the idea appeals to you even a little bit, then I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not a good person. You're just not. No relationship born of such selfish harm could possibly amount to anything besides misery and pain for everyone involved. Right. Simply out of a sadistic need for you to suffer as much as I have, I am now going to randomly paraphrase pieces of advice from this book for a little bit. Ahem. Only sleep with attractive women. While it might be easier to score with the ugly ones, it's important to maintain your standards and only take the hottest, most sophisticated women to bed. Make sure you are constantly in control of any and all conversations. If you let a woman get a word in, she'll pick a boring subject, bore herself, and then blame you for it. Even Geeks can learn this method. Believe it or not, I used to be a geek too, but now I'm awesome. While catcalling a woman might give her a much appreciated ego boost in the short term, it risks adding to her value and will lessen your chances with her in the future. Never buy your target a drink. Make her buy you a drink so she'll feel more invested in you and be more likely to see the night through to the end. Nothing like trying to tap into the sunk cost fallacy to get sex. It's not sexist to assign a number to women's looks because something ancient survival instinct. If your target tells you that she has a boyfriend, it doesn't mean she's not going to sleep with you. Even if she's not lying, all she's doing is testing your resolve, challenging you to talk her into cheating, or warning you not to expect a steady relationship afterwards. Flip expectations and constantly tell your target to stop touching you and that you're not that easy. This will make her want you even more now and prevent her from being able to say the same things back to you later when she regrets her decisions. Women will automatically assume that you want to sleep with them if you're nice to them in any way, because women are terrible apparently. That's why it's so important to constantly lie to them about your intentions. Never apologize to a target. It might make her feel good, but that sort of weakness will make her lose attraction to you. Use protection for your safety and hers. Holy crap, a legitimately good piece of advice. Pulling out a notepad just as you're asking for her number might force her to give you one just to avoid an awkward moment, and it might even be a real number. If your target deduces that you would be easy to talk into bed, she'll snub you and find someone with a higher challenge rating just for the heck of it. Because, once again, apparently it's women who are terrible. As I mentioned at the start, Mystery is better than a lot of other pickup artists at hiding the fact that he's a lonely, miserable man with more emotional damage than a post-apocalyptic metro-dwelling mutant. He's also better at not straight up admitting that all of his advice is bunk and just a numbers game, but he does slip up here and there and let you know that that is indeed the case. He lets you know that while the method he's selling you will eventually guarantee you 100% success, in order to master it you're going to have to try and fail more times than you can keep count of, and if you want to stay sane you need to train yourself to be completely emotionally unaffected by the constant rejection and learn to enjoy the, practice. He even lets slip that once you've mastered the mystery method, you're still going to get a lot of fake phone numbers, and the way around this is to constantly collect as many numbers as possible so the dead ends don't upset you. Despite his TV show being literally named it, one of the earliest things that Mystery does is deny the title of pickup artist, preferring the term Venetian artist instead. He doesn't really explain the difference or why the former wouldn't apply to him. Honestly, I think he was just becoming aware of the growing stigma towards his disgusting profession and wanted to get ahead of the rebranding. He likens practicing picking up women to martial arts training and compares himself to Bruce Lee a few times. I think the fact that he tries so hard to make the practicing sound cool is further evidence that he knows his advice is bad and needs to make you okay with constant failure so you don't catch on. Disturbingly, in one of the earliest chapters, while talking about the importance of persistence, Mystery mentions that the consequence of too little is no sex, but the consequence of too much is possible rape charges. I would like to think that any halfway decent human being would immediately assume that if rape is a possible outcome of a course of action, then said course of action should be avoided at all costs because no possible reward is worth that risk. But this is at the start of the book. Mystery is so unconcerned with it, he's not even a little worried that it will put his readers off. Sorry, everyone, I might actually need a little longer before I can get back to this. There's only so much visceral screaming can do to help after a while. Are we cool with taking 5? Yeah? Appreciate it. I will finish this horror show next week, I promise. In the meantime, if you want to help me feel like reading this garbage was worth it, be sure to leave a like and an encouraging comment. Also, if you'd like forewarning of when new episodes are going to be on Patreon or YouTube, meandering thoughts and or a lot of adorable cat photos, you might enjoy following me on Twitter. Thank you for joining me, my beautiful watchers. To be continued. Much love and appreciation to my patrons of honor, Sasha I. Edwards, Shelby Holtz, and Matthew J. Brish. Hello again, my beautiful watchers. I just wanted to take this opportunity to give you a quick reminder that there's a wonderful website called Patreon that's been allowing online producers to actually make a living doing what they do, since apparently YouTube's decided that they shouldn't anymore. Basically, they offer the chance to pledge a certain amount of money per month or per video in exchange for various rewards offered by the creator. There's a variety of stuff you can earn by becoming one of my patrons, including early access to all videos and taking part in that survey you see at the start of every Lost in Adaptation episode.
That's actually a very important part of the process, as I use it to gauge how much I'm going to need to explain about the book and the film before I start comparing them. If you decide to become a higher level contributor, your name will be added to the credits that you're seeing right now, and you'll be given the option to join my private chat room so you can regularly talk with me and other patrons. If you're keen enough to join the topmost tier of patronage, you'll earn the most coveted of all the rewards, the chance to pick a future adaptation to be reviewed by yours truly. However, if right now you are thinking, my goodness the Dom, I can't do that. I mean, I was going to. I found a magic lamp that granted me 3 wishes, and I meant to wish for infinite wealth, but, well, long story short, I have 3 jetpacks now. Fear not, it would still be a huge help to me if you were to give that like button the old clickaroo, share this episode on social media with perhaps a little recommendation to your friends to check it out, and subscribe if you've not already. It really helps my channel grow and reach new beautiful watchers. I hope you have a most pleasant day, and I will see you in the next episode.
Mr. Weezer Wanker, Mr. Weezer Wanker, Mr. Weezer Wanker, and I really don't like him. Keep bashing the microphone on my hat. I look ridiculous, I'm aware. Because they tell you to attempt to use it on 20, 20, 20, 20, 25, 30. If your target tells you that she has a boyfriend, it does not mean that she's not going to sleep with you. All she's did, no, quite having trouble with that line, yeah. Which is most certainly not an endorsement of it. Like, aeroplane! Kitty, 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 kitty. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, you look very confused. I don't blame you. Sorry, I got distracted petting the kitty. Why not? Girl's voice, girl's voice. Why not? Sorry, did I wake you up, Sir Terry? I'm sorry. Prevent her from being able to say the same things back to you later when she inevitably forgets her gibbons. Yeah. My cat scratched me while I was trying to make this, so you've seen scars just randomly appearing on me throughout this video, that's why. Hello? Hey.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm currently dressed as a woman. Though he's slide-splitting skabinging boongang. Yeah, I kind of raided your closet pretty heavily for this one, sorry. I can only look at you for so long without petting you wispy. For example, a woman might choose to marry the decrepit old elder. L'Oreal, because I'm worth it. Barney Stinson has been ruined for me. I always knew he was a bit of a problematic character, but knowing what he was based on, he's just dead to me now. I cannot rewatch any How I Met Your Mother, not even the early seasons when it was good. Another way of increasing your value includes making yourself appear to be... Hello, mother.